from 2014. Lots of comments coming out of the woodwork regarding Iraq. Obama proclaimed he was withdrawing troops to win the war, but Obama hadn't done that. The war had been won when a lame duck Bush got a troop surge under Petraeus in Afghanistan, which had been destabilising the region. The next big factor was Iran. Obama gave permission for Iran to run Iraq through President Proxy. Substantial injustice followed for minorities. Some say that wherever the U.S. goes, war follows. According to that Galloway Pilger belief, Syria has had a year of peace. It is a reminder of what former New South Wales Premier Bob Carr said in 2003 in the lead-up to the state election. He promised New South Wales would not invade Iraq. In his defence, he kept his word. Australian forces never planted the New South Wales flag in Iraq. New South Wales did once go to war in Sudan, but that was before Federation, and since then New South Wales' war lust has been tamed. President Carter had peace plans too, but it took Reagan to hose down the destruction of that peace. Bob Carr, as foreign minister, said Israel could not be trusted. Since Carr made that comment, Palestinians have broken several ceasefire agreements, and Israel have broken none. War is peace is a motif of Democrat activity. That anecdote about Nato and Serbia from last year is telling. Clinton had no problem dithering over 1 million deaths in Rwanda. Then he took his aggression out on a Serbian command tent. He had learned, or the voters had, or something. Some say to survive terrorist takeover, all one need do is know their Koran, but that isn't the truth. Those 200 Syrian soldiers executed by IS forces all knew their Koran and claimed to be Islamic. Those that survive are usually lucky in that the bloodlust had already been slated. It isn't personal or character, and it isn't because terrorists respect the law. Tanya Plibersek has said on Insiders that it is the duty of government to make popular budgets. She is wrong, but no journalist in the ABC noted it. It explains why the ABC has struggled to explain why the negligence of the ALP budgets have gone unnoticed by them, and why the LNP budget is disliked by the ABC now. It shouldn't matter what opinion ABC journalists hold, but it does, and they forcefully express their opinion often. In fact, it is the duty of government to make responsible budgets. There is a clear corruption in our law courts, with bias corroding them as they make political statements and aim for rock star status rather than protecting the dignity of legal process. One outrageous example is the Royal Commission into Union Corruption, which has interviewed Kathy Jackson. The interviewer is party to the corruption of the HSU and has a vested interest in smearing her. He apparently is a former lover and should have declined the role of interviewer. One former judge rockstar was made a living treasure of Australia before they got struck off as a judge for lying. Some judges in the 90s claimed to see words that weren't written in the Constitution regarding Mabo. Bias feeds on bias. The leader of the New South Wales opposition, Robertson, was hand-picked by Obeid and involved with the Currawong beach theft as well as avoiding privatisation. A true believer in popular budgets, a possible popular budget acolyte is PUP leader Palmer. There is no benefit to the voter if PUP gets benefits for Palmer. One person unaffected by pain, suffering or death is Anglican minister in Gosford, Rod Bauer. He was seen at an anti-coast coal protest. Less useful among such heathen than a school religious guidance counsellor, some might say.